This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 No Boundaries, No Bow travel trailer model 19.3. Okay, so this is not a floor plan video, it's a how-to. I'm just going to walk you around the trailer and show you how it works, okay? So you have regular crank down stabilizers, and you have a crank for that up in the front compartment, which I'll show you. You have an emergency exit or a storage exit, whichever you prefer to call it. You can see it goes up like this, and you can latch it into this position. You can put bicycles or whatever you've got, you can store in there. This also has an emergency window on it too, so keep that in mind. Okay. You have a power awning with LED strip. You have this utility table that hangs on the grill rail here. You have a griddle that hangs on the grill rail right here. And this is the quick connect here. Right. So that will plug right onto here, if you can see that okay. And that's how you get gas to the griddle, okay? You also have a quick connect for a sprayer that comes with it. It's a coiled hose with a spray gun on it. I'll show you that when we get to it also. But you can get water from that hose and sprayer, okay? Pass-through storage. We'll look at it from the other side. You have a deep cycle marine battery, and this battery has a kill switch right here, so you can shut the battery off if you need to. All right. You have a 20-pound LP tank here, and you have a power tongue jack with a hitch light on it. Okay. Now, if this ever fails, this jack ever fails for any reason, you can pull this rubber plug off the top here, and then you can use the smaller crank right here, excuse me, and you can put it right on the top there and crank it manually, so you can always get hitched and unhitched no matter what. This is your stabilizer crank. This is a reducer to reduce your 30 amp to a 20. This is the sprayer with the quick connect. That's the hose, and this is the sprayer. Okay. The most common way to get water to the trailer is city water, which is this one right here. Right, so if you got city water, you just hook it up to there, turn it on, and you're all set. Now, if you're camping someplace without city water, let's say you're boondocking or whatever you're doing, there's no city water, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then use the onboard pump to pump it. I'll show you where the switch is when we get inside, but all the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it out of the tank. Of course, and below it here, you can see that drain. That's your fresh water drain. So this is your water heater right here. Now, this works on both gas and electric. So there's an electric heating element behind this cover here, and then you have a rocker switch to turn it on and off, right? That works on 110 AC. Then you have a gas burner right here, and the switch for that's inside. I'll show you that when we get inside, okay? You also can drain the tank right here. It takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket to drain it. Just remember, never run the water heater without water in the tank. So if you drain it like people do, they don't like to keep the water in there all year because, or all summer, let's say. Let's just say you were camping in the spring, you came home, and you're not going to go camping till the fall, so you pull out the drain plug and let the water drain out. Just remember to refill the tank before you turn it on. You can't run it without water in it or you'll damage it, so always make sure that there's water in the tank. Okay, that's your furnace vent there. This vent here is for the range hood. So you got a range hood with a fan and a light. If you're venting to the outside, you always want to just reach up here and pop this baffle open here. See, it's flapping freely. Anytime you're venting to the outside, you want to do that. If you're not, you can just snap it shut like that if you're traveling or in storage. But anytime you're venting to the outside with the range hood vent, make sure you open that up. Okay. All right, so your two valves are here, your gray and your black. Black is toilet water and waste, gray is sink and shower water. You hook your dump hose up to here, of course. Now after you've dumped your black tank, all right, you leave the valve open. You can come up here with the hose at the dump station, put it on here and turn it on. It'll spray out the inside of your black tank. It'll flush it out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing, give you so you get good, accurate reading of your levels and that sort of thing. But like it says on the sticker, always make sure that you leave the black tank valve open before you turn the water pressure on, okay? Alrighty. Cable and satellite through. This is your 30-foot, 30-amp power cord. I showed you the adapter to adapt it down to a 20 so you could plug it in at home. Alrighty. This housing here shows us it's pre-wired for a Furrion backup camera kit. So if you ever want to add that, it's right there. It goes right there, and it's a very simple thing to hook up. We sell them here. You can also get them elsewhere, but it's the Furrion kit that fits that housing. Also, you have a ladder, which is great because it makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 60 to 90 days you should inspect your roof. So if someone needs to go out there and look around, make sure there's no cracking or separation at any of the sealant where, let's say, water could leak through. Make sure there's no damage to the roofing material or roofing attachments by, let's say, low branches or road debris flying up there. You just give it a look over to make sure everything's in good shape. You're just protecting your investment, so it should be part of your regular maintenance. You figure a couple times a summer. Okay? Now, one thing to keep in mind here is if you open your door all the way, this awning rod interferes with it, or I'm sorry, this awning arm interferes with it. So make sure you keep it at a 90-degree angle from the trailer, so it can open and close freely. All right, let's go inside and look around here. Okay, so we'll start with the control panel right here. Your awning is right here. Your awning switch. Never leave the awning out unattended if you're not going to be at the campsite. Roll it in. That's just your awning light there, porch light, interior lights. Okay. Alrighty. If we go this way, this is the thermostat for your heating and cooling. So it works like most do. You just hit the mode button and light it up, and then you just keep poking it till you get to the mode you want. Air conditioning, heat, fan, whatever. Alright. You have heated tanks in here. Your holding tanks are all heated, so you have your switches to turn on the heaters, which are heating pads basically. They're attached to the tank and the elbows. Okay. You have your water pump right now is on, so you can see that's how you turn your water pump on. That's used to pump water out of the fresh water tank. It's also used to winterize the trailer, of course. So if you don't have city water and you filled your tank, you're going to turn this on, obviously, to pump out of the tank. Your water heater, you light it on gas right here. Remember I showed you there was a switch in the outside lower left-hand corner for the electric heating element? Well, this is to light it on gas. Most people will run, they'll get into the campground, they'll run it on electricity. They'll just have the heating element going, and you get plenty of hot water that way. But when it comes time to showering, they'll kick on the burner because you get faster recovery time that way. You don't get on demand by any means, but it's much faster recovery. So, okay, and then of course all your levels are here, batteries charged, so on and so forth. Okay. All right, your table, which is in the down position now, is a bed. If you can see it, you can put the poles underneath, and you can use it. It's a dinette, obviously, or you can have an extra person sleeping here if you have it in this down position. Alrighty, so let's keep going this way just to finish up the power in the water. So this is your solar controller. This controls the solar panel and makes sure the battery is being charged with it. It just kind of overlooks it. So it's called a solar charge controller. So right now you can see the battery's not totally charged up here. You're second from the top, but it's close. It will be. We just came in from the weekend, so it takes a little time to get up. But first thing you want to look at is it says wet, and we have a wet battery, so that's set properly. It says battery type right there. You don't have to worry about that anymore because it's already set. The only button you worry about is this one on the upper right hand corner. So right now you got 13.5 volts in the system. Right now you're gaining 1.5 amps from the sun. That's because it's early in the morning and it's overcast a bit, so that'll keep going up depending on the time of day, the weather outside, that sort of thing. But that is being put into your battery now from sunlight. Okay, push it again, 2.7 amp hours, and back to 13.5, 13.6 volts in the system. So you get 3 readings from that. Now, if this ever starts flashing, it'll say FUL, and it'll flash. It's not broke. It's telling you that there's no room for storage in the battery anymore. It's totally topped off. Because of that, it shuts the panel off until the level in your battery drops. So as soon as the power goes down in your battery, your 12 volts goes down, it'll kick back onto this normal panel. But if it's saying FUL and flashing, it's just there's no room for storage, that's all. Okay? Alright, you have a 4-speed fan, which is a great thing. It's on those days where there's condensation, that time of year when you got a bunch of people over and you start to get a little condensation, you can just turn this on low, for example. It'll take care of that, no problem. Now this is another eco device here. This is a shower miser, right? So basically this is a water recirculator. It just sends the water around in a loop from here to the water pump, through the water heater, and back up here. It just goes around and around and around. The reason it does that is so you won't waste water. You'll see here in some areas with drought conditions, you can't just heat up the hot water and while it's heating up, letting perfectly good water go down the drain. So this is the way to avoid that. So it's the water's going around in a loop, nothing's coming out of the shower head, and it's getting hotter and hotter. Once it gets to the proper temperature, this will change colors. It gets kind of a beigeish color. Okay, once that happens, you'll just go to regular mode right there, and it'll work like a regular shower, right? So all you're doing is circulate. Like I said, it's an eco device. You're recirculating the water in a loop, so you don't waste any good fresh water while you're heating it up, and you don't waste storage in your gray tank with perfectly good water. So that's the shower miser. Now I just want to tell you that there's material, literature for every component of this trailer. But if you ever want to learn more, you can go to the manufacturer's sites. The trailer site is good, the manufacturer of the trailer, but also you can go to Shower Miser, for example, and it'll give you a lot more information. You can go to Go Power, and you'll learn everything you need to know and then some about their different products and how they work, okay? So keep that in mind. The toilet works like every other RV trailer, travel trailer toilet. It's got a flush pedal right there, all right? You can't use this dry, meaning no water or chemical in the black tank, which is directly below. These always sit right over a black tank. So when you hook up your power and your water, you come inside, you put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. Then you'll step on the pedal, and water will start going into the tank below. So you just stand on that long enough to put at least a gallon of water in the tank along with the chemical. Then you're ready to use it. If you don't do that, if you use it dry, the smell will be terrible, plus it'll get clogged up. So you always want to have chemical and at least a gallon of water when you start off camping and you have an empty black tank. Okay? Alright. Okay, so this works like any other sink. This is your furnace here. Alright. This here, this first one is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should be green like it is, always glowing green. If it's not, get it serviced. It's very important. If it goes off, obviously, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the appliances off, and shut the gas off at the front, and then figure out what's going on, okay? If it's not green, like I said, get it serviced. Now this is your power converter. So what this does is converts, okay, what this does, oh, we had the microwave off. What this does is converts AC to DC power. So you start off here on this side with 110 AC, which is shore power, right? And you have 110 AC circuit breakers like you'd have at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side, so you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled, right? Also, this is a battery charger / tender, so it's going to, when you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery up front on the tongue has and needs, and it'll send as many amps as necessary to keep it charged up. So when you're plugged into shore power, this This device will charge your battery. When you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator through the charge line will charge your battery up front. And then of course your solar panel, depending on the conditions outside, will always be sending energy to your battery also. So 3 ways for your 12-volt battery to get charged. Okay. And there you have it. That's the power converter. Converts AC to DC power. So this is your vacuum right here. Now you can get attachments for it. This does not come with the attachments. Basically the idea is you sweep all the dirt in front of this little port here, or not port, but this little, what would you call it, uptake, intake. It'll suck the dirt right in, so you don't have to use a dustpan, anything like that. Now if you wanted to add some attachments, you can get an attachment kit for it where they plug in here. But that's generally just used as a kind of a dustpan. Now your microwave here is a convection microwave, right? So it's convection. It works like all convection microwaves, but if you need to, you can read the literature on it, of course. All right. Behind here is your water pump, right? And behind that panel over there, next to the jackknife sofa there, that's also a place you go to when you're setting your valves for plumbing, or for, I'm sorry, not plumbing, for winterizing, I'm sorry. So number 2, square-headed screws. You would take these 2 out, you can access that there, and then you can pull these 2 screws out, number 2 square-headed screws, and you can work with it there. This is where the water pump valves would be. Or, I'm sorry, the water filter valves. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself here. So, okay. So, this is a, can't get a good viewing of this with this camera, so I'll just gotta talk you through it. But this is a power inverter. This is where you actually this gives you the status of your DC power. So you can read more about it. That's the on and off. You only turn it on when you need to use it. You don't have to keep it on when you're not. Yeah. So that's just basically a control center for your DC, okay? Let's see what else we have here as I look around. Okay, your TV is more than just a TV. It's actually an FM radio. It has Bluetooth. It has HDMI ports on it. It has 2 speaker zones. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it's right now it's set up for 12 volts, so it runs on 12 volt DC. Okay, and it's on a swing out bracket also. Your remote for it is right there. Okay. Alrighty. So let me look around a little bit here. I don't want to leave anything out that's important. I just have to find where he's got all the literature at here. Okay. So the refrigerator is a 12 volt DC refrigerator. Okay. Your controls are up here, on and off. Then your temperature is here, and then there are different modes. Like the moon is a nighttime mode where you can set it because it uses less energy at night. So you can learn about that a little bit. There's also literature on this one. This has to do with your kayak rack on the roof. It's just an attachment there. Okay, and of course you got a nice size freezer up here. Okay. I just wanted to look at, I was vague on that the device I just showed you. I should have realized that I didn't fully understand that one because it kind of took me by surprise here. Okay, so this here is for your solar controller, that literature there, okay? World Friendship. Okay, so this is actually for the inverter. Okay, so your inverter, I believe, will be stored, just so you know, it's underneath. Here, let's see if I can pick this up. It's right in that box. That's your inverter. So I told you over here this converts power. Conversion is going from AC to DC. Inversion is going from DC to AC. That's where you control it over here. Basically, some of the receptacles are wired for inversion. So if you don't have AC power, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can invert the power from your battery from 12 volt DC to 110 AC, and you can run small appliances like a blender or a hairdryer or any small AC appliance. You can run it off of the power inverter, and it'll just basically take the 12 volts from your battery and invert it to 110 AC. Okay, so that's what that is. Just wanted to make sure before I got into that with you. And here's the literature for that. And here's more WFCO. This is for your power converter here. Yes. Okay. So your inverter is underneath this jackknife sofa, and the controls are right there. Okay. Now this jackknife's flat, and then you can drop the bunk or the Murphy bed. So it's great. You can reclaim space during the day. You know, it's like having a much bigger trailer when you put the bed up. This is a inverted GFCI right here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, even the one on the outside. So keep that in mind. If you're using the plug outside and it pops, you're going to reset it in here. Okay. Alrighty. Another emergency escape window works like the other one. You just push it all the way through, grab a hold of the red tab and pull the screen out, and you can escape during an emergency. Okay. That is your smoke detector, of course. Alrighty. So let me look around. There's a lockbox right here. I haven't checked it, but the keys. We'll check on the keys. I see there's a said here everything is keyed alike in this trailer. I don't know if this is or not, but I guess we'll find out right now. Yeah, so it's keyed alike, so you can use the regular keys for it, your door keys. Okay, so let me look around a little bit more, see what's what. I think I've covered everything, so we're good. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I told you about inspecting the roof every 60 to 90 days. That should be part of your regular maintenance. It's very important. You're protecting your investment. You can't see what's happening on the roof unless you look. So keep that in mind. Right now, there's no antifreeze in the system. It's filled with fresh water. The water heater valves are in the camping mode, and the water heater tank is full, so you're ready to go. Never run the water heater without water in the tank, okay? Thank you very much.